So this is Melissa Kramer, Promec Engineering, Human Resources and EH&S Manager. And this is our 401k overview with our advisor, Craig Coughlin. And at this time, we're going to let him take over with his presentation.
All right, so I think we'll just introduce the Promec Engineering 401k plan. Typically, I ask if anybody's been invested in a 401k plan before, to kind of give you an idea how it might work. But I'll just briefly give you an overview. So the plan is obviously it's employee benefit. You are able to put money into the plan. You get to choose how much that is, and there is a match, and the match is 4% dollar for dollar. So for every dollar that you put in, up to 4% of your income, a dollar gets matched. That is 100% vested in yours immediately, and you get to, of course, pick and choose how you want that invested over time within the parameters of what's available within the plan. That's in essence how the 401k plan works. Any money that you do put into the plan is considered pre-tax, so it does save you some money on your taxes should you put money into it. And of course, it grows tax deferred. And then once you either hit retirement or should you leave Promec, you're able to take those funds with you. You can roll them into another plan. If you're not retired, you can roll them into an IRA, or you can keep them in the plan and start taking money out to supplement your retirement as needed. So that's a little bit about a 401k plan and how it works. Some of the benefits that are involved within the plan itself. It does allow a loan. You're allowed to have one loan at a time. So if there was a reason that you might need that, it is available to you. When you do take out a loan, there is a setup fee for that. And then any interest that you pay on the loan is it's prime +1, and you actually pay that interest to yourself. It doesn't go to anybody else. So that can be a benefit at times. Although I can tell you that's not necessarily strongly encouraged, but it is there for you should you need it. In terms of some additions to the plan, on top of the 401k, we've never used it here at Promec, but it does have a profit share attached to it. So if Promec does announce a profit share, that is a part of the plan and could be a part of the plan in the future, and there is a vesting schedule attached to that. But beyond that, so far we've just used the 401k portion of it.
And Craig, sorry to interrupt you. When you have a minute, can you go through the requirements of eligibility?
Oh, absolutely. So in order to be eligible, you have to work at Promec for at least 6 months and have 400 hours. So, and hours is there if you're extreme part-time, you're not going to be, and you don't get 400 hours in a year, you're not going to be eligible for the plan. That's basically how that works. So once you hit the eligibility, then you are able to go in on a quarterly basis. So, on the quarters are when the entry points are for the plan. So if for some reason you do miss an entry point, you do have to wait till the next quarter. And then once we enroll, it's pretty simple. We actually, we have it on the screen here. You go to transamerica.com, and it just, this is the main page, and it just points you in the right direction in terms of what it is that you're there for. If you scroll down, you have an area that says what it is that they can help you with. Accessing the account, contacting them, or enrolling the plan. If you hit enroll in the plan, which I guess you hit it up there, then it takes you to this area here and asks you if you're an individual, professional, or an employer. If this is the first time you've been here, you have to sign up for the plan. So you go in and you sign up for it.
So while we're waiting for this little computer lag, the reason that we're having our meeting now is that in order for, let's say, Max and Scott to be able to get access to the 401k, the deadline would have been, is it December 31 for this quarter? Or they would have to wait to the next quarterly invite?
Well, so, I mean, technically it just has to be done by the time payroll is finished for the first quarter. So January 1 being the start of the quarter, technically speaking, it would have to be done by the first payroll for that.
Okay. Just as a clarification question for people who are like, maybe this isn't the right quarter for me, so I would have to wait until the next quarter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of wiggle room there, but certainly not a lot. So when you go in here and sign up, and I would just preface this by indicating to you, I've been through this enough times that it's interesting to see this and go through and go, okay, that makes sense. It's really easy, and then by the time you actually go and do it, I don't remember what to do. All you gotta do is contact me and I can help walk you through this. It's pretty simple. So we're an individual going to sign up. We're just going to click next here. What are we signing up for? It's a retirement plan. And we're going to go next again.
There's a little lag.
And then it's just going to verify who you are. You're going to put in your information here. Social security number is the big one, along with your date of birth. And of course your name. It's going to ask you for your email address. Also your residence address. You're going to hit continue. It's going to verify that you're in the system. And so it's going to use that information to verify that on the different things that we have. And then it's going to send you an email that is going to allow you in. You hit that link. It's pretty much as simple as it gets. Once you've gotten into the system that way, then it allows you to go in and input your beneficiaries, input how much money you actually want to put in the plan. You can put in a dollar amount if you wish per pay period, or you can do a percentage. I always encourage people to do a percentage. That way, if you get a pay raise, it automatically raises it up. Those are the basics, and you get to pick your investments. And the investments are, you can do individual investments. There's like literally 60 some different options in there if you want. TransAmerica handles that. They pick and choose who is in it. They have a system for monitoring that, a system for who they put in there and why. Generally, it's the best of the best in different categories. They're very good about that. They make changes on a very regular basis. And you can pick those individual investments if you choose. If you want help with that type of thing, I'm available to help you. If you just want to set it and forget it, you can do that too. You can pick a retirement date and go with a plan that's through the BlackRock allocation funds, and it'll just do it for you. And as you get closer and closer to retirement, it gets more and more conservative. Or you can do a combination of any of that. It's very wide open in terms of, and flexible in terms of how it works.
So 2 questions, just in case, as this is recording, people have them. First one is, how often can you go in and change where your 401k is kind of delineated to? So like you take a piece of your 401k and you put it toward healthcare, and then you put another one toward technology. How often can you go in and change those?
So they don't have they don't necessarily have a limit on that. You can go in once a day. I know you can make the changes.
Okay.
They typically do not encourage people to attempt to day trade on their 401k plan. Platform is not meant for that. It doesn't trade. You're trading mutual funds. The mutual funds trade at the end of the day.
Okay.
So there's no way to get out of the market in the morning because you think the market's doing poorly, and then get back in at the end of the day if you think it's going to recover the next day. It doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to time the market that way within the 401k plan is generally not a good idea. It is more of a long-term investment plan, but in terms of making changes to the individual investments, you literally can do that daily, probably until they send you a warning email that says we think you might be day trading.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
For the most part, there's not a limit on that, and I've never run into a situation where somebody has, really ever gotten a warning email on it or anything like that. So,
okay. And then my other question, just in case people have them, is let's say as a new employee, I have an existing 401k and I want to roll that over into this. Would I contact you, or would I do that on TransAmerica and download documents that would need to be completed?
Probably best to contact me because the documents that you're gonna need are, you will have to contact them and sometimes it can be a little cumbersome to go through and you're gonna need documents also from your former employer. So it's a combination of a couple things. So yeah, it'll take other plan assets from former employers. There might be some caveats there where we may have to do some things. So for instance, if you had an old employer that has a simple plan, we might have an extra step that we have to go through, but we can certainly do it. That's not an issue. The plan does accept that. I will tell you maybe there might be some questions in terms of what other availability the plan has. The plan currently does not have a Roth option. That may be something that changes when we get to the point where we restate the plan, but currently it does not have the Roth option. And currently you can only take one loan at a time. You can't take two, and they don't allow you to refinance a loan with an additional loan. It does have to be paid off first. So those are kind of the caveats there.
And I think before I stop recording, Craig, is there anything else that if I was out on the road in, let's say, Tennessee, and I was kind of watching this, that there was and I'm eligible for a 401k through ProMec, anything else that you would think of that they would need to know while they're trying to set up offsite?
You're going to have beneficiary information.
Including social security numbers.
Yeah, it'd be date of birth, social security number. You're going to want to make sure that you have that. You do want to set up a beneficiary. That is important. If you're married, it does have to be your wife. There's a rule on that. And she's not going to sign off on that and say no. So just understand that part. And then the other question I get a lot as well, what if I put in and 5% and I want to change it, or I put in 10% and I want to change it? Yes, you can change it at any time. That's not a problem. What I would indicate to you, on our end, we're supposed to run the reports before we do payroll so that we know that changes are made. But I just would encourage you that if you do make a change, that you might want to tell somebody here at ProMec and just say, hey, just heads up, I made this change, just so that everybody is on the same page.
Awesome.